What time is it? Forever o'clock. Okay, so here we go. Now we are back. I am pleased to reintroduce and represent again, because sometimes in life you burst at the seams. It's like Thanksgiving. You can't get enough, and then you sit down and you say, oh my God, what have I done to myself? Well, this is one of those occasions. There's just a physical reality to having people inside of the green screen hangar, and we're here to make sure that everybody gets a chance to see what they want to see and get to see the exclusive content. So MPC, the guys from MPC are back. Without further ado, they were jazzed about it. I'm jazzed about it. Let's get that ramp going a little slower here while I introduce them. The first guy on my right, or the left over there far, is Damien Guimeno.
Guimeno, yes, yeah, really good.
Guimeno. And then my Italian compatriot and friend, Marco Cappellazzi.
Yeah.
Cappellazzi. Certo. Allora, buonasera a tutti in Italia. Ti presentiamo.
Let's go? Okay. I know you're pretty tired. Sorry, it's the last presentation. We are super happy to be here again. Thanks a lot, Pixelogic, for the software and so the guy. Thanks a lot, guys. It's amazing. So it's a really good software. It's a really good software. You can sculpt on many polygons. Polygons are like stuff like this. A lot. You can do a lot. If anybody doesn't understand, you stop me every time it's too complicated. Unfortunately, Beyoncé couldn't come today, so Luis, you're gonna help me? Yes. And everybody?
It's enough.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
it was really good. Sorry for my accent if not everybody understands me. I come from Texas, and I'm super sorry for that. So sorry by advance. It's a joke. I'm coming from France. I'm a French artist. I'm working at MPC. I'm in London. I'm super happy also because I am with my friend Marco. We started together at MPC. Incredible. We were super shy in the building, and now we are here. So we are super grateful. Thank you, all the guys here and all the friends we meet. And we wanted to meet since so long. James, Maria, everybody. You're so cool, so humble. It's super great. And all the other one. I can't say all the name, okay?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do all the name. So thank you, Michael. Thank you, Natasha. No, it's a joke. Okay. This is the actual final asset for the Lion King. Yeah, Luis, it's for you.
Oh, nice. He's going to keep him.
Yeah.
He's going to keep him.
She's dying. And I'm going to start by something super cool, guys. You're the really first one to see the new demo reel of MPC. I took it the last Friday, so enjoy. It's the really new one.
see what we're dealing with here. It's a lion! Run for your life!
Wait, hey, Timon, wait, Timon, wait. It's a little lion.
It gets bigger.
I'm gonna die!
Heavy hangs of fear in your heart, like cinder blocks crushing your chest. This is my world. Oh, you took a wrong turn. Trust me, this is gonna hurt. Fire it up and watch it burn. This is my world. This is my world. Oh, you took a wrong turn. Now you're stuck in my world. And trust me, this is gonna hurt. Fire it up and watch it burn. This is my world.
Thank you for MPC to let us the opportunity to do that. Thanks a lot, Disney Technicolor. It's a great opportunity already to work on this movie, and now to show you all the things here today. It's amazing. I came with a lot of amazing dailies. You're going to see a lot of exclusivities you didn't see in any making of, in anything online. So as I told you, I am Damien. I come from London MPC. I'm more character artist, concept artist, sculptor there, and I came with my buddy Marco.
My name is Marco Capella. It's a pleasure to meet you.
God.
I am a 3D artist working at MPC London as well, in environment department. And I'll be here with my buddy that we started together, as I said before. It's fine. I mean, you're going to see really cool stuff here.
Yeah. So let's go for the really cool stuff. Let's go with this one. So, of course, this movie, there was not only us working on it. There was more than 1,100 artists at MPC. So it was London, Bangalore, and also Los Angeles. And Bangalore did an amazing work and worked as hard as us. I want to say a big hello to Sylvester, Varun, and Moby, leading the team at Bangalore. From LA was coming more the 2D concept stuff. And in London, we were working a lot on the creative aspect. For the hero characters. More than 1,500 shots. There is still people thinking that it's real animals in this movie.
Yeah. My father thinks it's all real.
Your father thinks it's real. And no, every environment, every rocks, every trees, every animals. We did more than 86 different creatures. Something super cool, and usually we don't do that in VFX, is we couldn't start from anything. We started a bit from scratch. We started from MPC Human, for example, because first thing, we wanted to do something original. Second thing, Jon Favreau didn't want to stress any animals, and we couldn't scan everything, like an elephant in photogrammetry. It's a bit complicated. And we did everything by hand, and it's even better to talk about that now because we really had all this workflow for the modeling, and it was really interesting to work like this. A lot of animators, a lot of people, texturing, compositing. Of course, today I'm going to talk more about the modelers because we are here in a modeling event. Jon Favreau, of course. Yeah. He's the director, actually. So it's an amazing guy. He's really involved. He already came many times to see us and say hello, to do amazing talk about what we were doing, actually why we were doing this movie, why we were doing this movie like this. And he was coming to say hello. He really knows about what he's talking. He has a lot of experience from Jungle Book. He has a lot of experience with VR because he was also working with Adam Valdez, which is a great guy, VFX supervisor, who came in London in the middle of the process, so we could directly work with him. Same with Elliot Newman, who was more from the shot side. Rogue Legato, production VFX supervisor. By the way, I want to say a big hello and big thanks for all the production people, because usually we don't really think about those people. It's all the people who are going to bring artists together. We're going to, calm the tension. We're going to create the link between the
glue.
Yeah, and
glue.
and say, okay, you have a meeting at this time in this room. So at MPC, we have a lot of room where we are doing dailies. So we are doing our meeting. It's like small cinemas. We have a really big one in the basement.
That's true.
It's like a beautiful cinema, like you can see everywhere. And for every floor, you have a cinema. We're gonna go and we're gonna see all the dailies like you're doing today. So I hope you prepare your dailies. Ben Jones is the guy we saw the most. So character supervisor is an amazing guy. Like Brian, guys, he is giving some feedbacks on absolutely everything. Modeling, texturing, groom, and he has a really good eye. And we were all coming together, and he was giving some feedbacks. And the day after, we were showing and a daily about what we should do for the feedbacks. Chris Uyede, big hello, HOD modeling, Rebecca Melander, big kiss, guys. And I'm going to talk to you about Rafiki, Ska, and Simba today. I'm super happy to talk about those guys. I spend a lot of time on them. I talk about them because it's the character as model and sculpted. I'm happy because I'm going to talk about Rafiki, which is full of wrinkles, Simba, which is super cute, and Ska, which is not cute at all. and it's completely different process, different workflow. So let's start. So, Rafiki, actually I said we don't use scan, and I lied. We use scan sometime, like a skeleton, for example. So my work at the really beginning gonna be to think about like a real monkey with real proportion, of course. I'm gonna clean a skeleton. I'm gonna make it symmetrical, maybe doing a quick decimate version. And I'm gonna give that to the rigging guys. We're gonna work together really closely. So, for example, the guy was James Wood. He has a lot of experience from Jungle Book, also. He knows a lot about muscle simulation, etc. So I'm gonna create this skeleton and try to have the proportion of the monkey. And I was super happy because I was super free to also work on the design as I want. And we had also some references coming from everywhere. So we have also amazing guy from editorial who are like every day with like thousands of references. So it's absolutely great to work at MPC when the show began, because everybody was feeling that it's going to be something big. Everybody was working on animals, so you were seeing some people fighting in drinking coffee and saying, no, this animal is like this. It's really strange, you know. And also we had some really good references, documentary like Planet Earth.
Yeah, that was cool.
You were coming in the morning and you were seeing some people watching some lion running in the desert. It's super strange, super cool. And everybody was involved. Usually we do creature, we do vehicles, etc. And at this moment, everybody knew that we're going to work for a long time on animals and we're going to go deep in this thing. On the top left, you can see really nice stuff from LA department. So it's going to be more 2D concept. It's going to arrive. We're going to choose if we're going to keep that. Sometime I'm going to do some renders with Katana, or Luke Devart is going to do it, and they're going to take it back and doing some paint over on top. So we're going to have paint over.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Are you joking about my accent, Marco?
Me?
No.
Never.
Okay. We have also some really cool picture, some monkey a bit tired, some monkey a bit less tired. And at the beginning, I really wanted to put like a mix with a gibbon and a mandrill. So I had a lot of freedom, and at the same time, I needed to go pretty quick because we had this thing, the D23. It was the first presentation after like few months, like April.
I think 3 months.
Yeah, it was super quick. Everybody was already rushing on the movie. We should have a topology. We should have a UV fur to put the groom. We should have everything. And it was not the same shot that for the final movie. It was not the same animal design at the end, but we were showing that to few journalists, Jon Favreau friends, etc. And we should show something with few minutes and see if people were happy and exciting. Everybody will love the design of Rafiki. So with my buddy Ed Lavin, who is working on the blend shape of Rafiki, which is an amazing guy. I spent like lot of time with him together. We were sitting each other, and he was taking care about all the technical aspect. He wanted to know if after it's going to be easy to animate with the topology first, and also the size of the jaw, etc. So he was opening the mouth like crazy like this. He was telling me, oh, buddy, maybe we can shave that from a few centimeters. I was going in ZBrush, giving him something. So it was a great exchange like this. So I say a big hello to him also. And after we could test the groom. So for the groom, we need to do few UVs also. I'm saying that because I wanted to talk to you about modeling TD at MPC. We are not sculpting all the day. We are sculpting a lot, but we need to take care about a lot of things. All the technical aspect, all the UVs, few UVs. So for UVs, it's just one UDIM. You need to unwrap the model, not cut many patches. It's one only patch. And it's going to help the groom artist to distribute the groom. And after, we're going to have the normal UDIMs for the colors, the roughness map, the ZDs, displacement. For this kind of guy, you're going to have 15 UDIMs, for example, for maps with 8K. Okay?
8K maps.
So this is Rafiki when you're going to see in Maya. You can see the different UDIMs for the D23. UV checker. So we have tools doing that automatically. So we can release a model, and after you can say, okay, I want to see all this kind of paths. Modeling task. So I talked to you a bit about that. We are like technical and creative at the same time. And I'm going to talk to you about loads. So this is really specific. Ed Lavin, which is like a really good blend shape artist, had the role to do the topology of the face. I really like working like that. It's an amazing workflow because this guy knows what he's going to do after. He knows how the model gonna move, etc. So he's taking care about all the flows of the topology, and another guy was working on the body. And after, we patch. So this is Rafiki in Maya, and me, I was already taking MPC human, so the topology of a normal human that we're gonna use for all the hero movies, for the girl, for the guy. It's a nice topo that we update every year. Like Jack Harrell, for example, update that every 3 months, and we have better and better topology. And I took this guy and I put in this position, and I started from that, from a human. Why I did that? Because first of all, we want to keep some stuff. It's pretty easy for me to relax the UVs if I already have the patch, etc. So you win a lot of time. And usually in VFX, we do that a lot. What was great at the same time on The Lion King is that, as I told you, we didn't have scan. We didn't really have some animals like this. So we were starting from scratch or human, etc. So my role is to do a first pass with the volumes, even the details. But I don't need to have like crazy details for now, but enough information to say, OK, guys, we need to put the topo here. We need to follow this flow. So I did that. I sent that. I sync in sometime. And we're going to start to work on the topology. We start to work on the topology, and we start to put the UVs, etc. Now I'm going to talk about a typical day at MPC. So we were working mainly with Ben Jones. We were going, at the beginning, not a lot of people. I started to work on Rafiki in January 2016, or something like that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 17.
17. And I was one of the first modelers. There was not a lot of people on the show. And slowly, there was other artists coming from other departments, texturing, look dev, etc. And at the end, it was an army of people coming in dailies. It was super impressive. It was really cool. A daily, what is it? A daily, it can be like before and after. So just simple thing. Sometimes you can come back to your desk and work on that in the afternoon. You're going to have the production girl. We're going to tell you production girl or production boy. I more remember the production girls.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you're going to do before, after, for example. This is the work in progress I did for the ends of Rafiki. And this was still on the MPC human. So there was still some stretching, etc. Doesn't matter. We need that for the topology and the design. OK? I started to do these first dailies. And like everybody was pretty happy with that. And we start to say, OK, we're going to do everything like this by layer. It's pretty clear. You show every layer. You see if there is intersection, like you see. This is a funny thing, because some people, like bad people we don't like, say, we never use ZBrush for the production. It's not true. For example, for the teeth, I already knew that there was too much stretching, for example, from the teeth from the human. So I changed it pretty early. And at the end of the day, we keep some ZBrush stuff. So thank you, ZBrush. Thank you, Pixel.
That's true.
By the way, if I can talk a bit more about ZBrush, it's absolutely amazing, guys. If you want to do a nice topo now, it's incredible. You just create some polygroups, and you press keep groups, and you just press that, and you have a topo. It's true that.
Don't forget the guys.
Yeah. The Pixology guy who did that, it's incredible.
Don't forget the Hockey 7 when you have the polygon.
Yeah.
Go on all day. Don't forget there's two different types, the legacy code, the new.
Exactly. Don't forget the old guys. And don't forget the other algorithm, and etc., all these things. Yeah, we never forget those guys. Yeah, we never forget that.
And the Damien standard.
Damien standard. So I am not Damien standard, the other guy. But Damiens are pretty
I thought you were.
I am the Damien non-standard.
Oh. Amazing. Cool.
I found another guy.
That's nice. I like
So this
it.
is another daily with Inamar, of course, which is super cool, is coming with references. Sometimes we come with no references, and the guy gonna tell you what I am seeing, you know. I want to know if it's normal to have this really strange teeth like this. Yeah, it's normal. Look, I put a picture, and the guy say, "Oh, okay, you put a picture. It's actually normal." So you can show what you do, and it's pretty nice. So references in your dailies, and you show the sculpt. Still on MPC Human with stretching, etc. Okay. So when I say that there was a big part on the design, it's absolutely amazing. So what I'm gonna do is take the picture I like, and I'm gonna say, okay, I prefer this little part of the skin, this thing, and I'm gonna do a mix. And we're gonna have some referencing coming. You see the stretching here? Yeah, still MPC Human.
Yeah, it's
doesn't
pretty
matter.
obvious.
Yeah, skeleton, checking, again, by layer. Other kind of dailies. And I just put that to show you another daily I did, an example like, I prefer doing that quickly in Photoshop than sending to a look dev artist who is going to do 8-hour renders, you know?
It's better.
So I did this kind of thing. I did a test. They say, oh, we needed more wise. And so it can be a kind of daily. Again, we have different references coming, popping. Sometimes the CG Sup or VFX Sup or Ben John is going to say, okay, we're going to change references on the border. Sometimes we're going to stay 1 month with all these references, and we're going to change slowly, and we're going to go slowly and find a design. Pretty early, we had this design from this guy, which is the scientific who invented ZBrush in 1963.
In 1963, yeah.
And created the first ZBrush in the full galaxy, Einstein. And dailies like this, pretty clear. This guy was like coming pretty early, and we say, we love this guy. And at some point, we say, what? What is, it's strange, those eyes are pretty new. We didn't find this kind of eyes on many animals. I worked pretty closely with Geoffrey Copin, which is an amazing guy. He changed all the workflow for the texture pipeline. And if he was not here, all the animals looks different.
Great. Oh, okay.
Different. And also Patrick Wenman, and we started to do some and we say, oh, actually we need to put that in the shape, in the modeling. So we did that also for the eye. I'm going to show you that after in a really nice video for Rafiki. The top right one is a bit too young. I tried some other things with big wrinkles. So you know it's back and forth. So that's why it takes time also. We try some stuff. So after I go more in depth, and I'm going to say, okay, I did that because of that. Look, there is this daily flat area between wrinkles, and we were going a bit more crazy in following the monkeys at this moment. Rafiki was incredible. I work a lot on it. It means friends. It means friends in certain language. I don't know this one, Rafiki. And
yeah, it means friend.
He was my friend, actually, for a long time. And after we wanted to, he looks like more monkey, but all the lion looks like lions, you know. And Rafiki, we started from different design. It was pretty nice. Yeah, some example of dailies where I'm going to go more in depth and say, okay, I want really flat wrinkles, really specific features, you know. It's important to work on that because, yeah. So this is a work in progress of Rafiki. I close the eye, it's really quick. I did that myself just because I don't need a blend shape. Why I'm doing that? And I think it's interesting for everybody that I don't want to capture all the low frequency of my Z-disp. So if I close the eye, I'm going to have big artifacts and big black area, you know, in this area. So I'm going to close the eyes when I export my Z-disp. So Z-disp is the naming convention for MPC to say displacement. We are using Z-disp for ZBrush. And after we're going to create the displacement in Mari. Mari is going to be based on UVs. And we're going to create all the little details. I'm going to talk a bit more about that after. And Z-disp is going to come from ZBrush. So we're going to take care about all the subdivision and going to extract all this detail. I close the eyes and I don't have these problems. After I open the eyes again, and I'm going to release that as a load day in Maya. What is a load day? It's the topology, final topology for the render. When we're going to finish a topology, the low poly topology, you're going to laugh after because when you're going to see what is low topo for that, it's pretty insane. But we have the technology to do that. So it's pretty high density. But what's going to be in Maya for the load day release for all the artists is going to be load A and going to be a load B subdivide. Okay? The load B is used by the rigging, the skinny. It's going to be more easy with less vertex. So when I was talking about displacement, Z displacement, Z-disp is coming from ZBrush. We need the low and the medium frequency. It's enough. And after we're going to create with amazing map, and I say hello to my friend Jeremy Celeste, who's creating this amazing texturing Swayze. I think everybody knows it. And we're going to apply that on the UVs and create all the tertiary details, all the little wrinkles, etc. Okay? So this is an example of work in progress I did on Rafiki. And this is one of the final face of Rafiki when I was parting. So you see that
Wow.
there is also a flat array, etc. Wow.
That's pretty cool, man.
Thank you.
That's a good job.
This is an important part, and I think it's important even when you are working on personal projects, everything to think about that. When you are reprojecting something, guys, you need to take care about why we have a topology. When you reproject, it's never finished. This work after the reprojection was really important. I was coming back in level 1, following the wrinkles, level 2, we go a bit deeper, etc., etc. What is really important that the blend shape artist is super happy after, it's when you have all the volumes already in the topology.
Yeah.
So if you have 3 lines, the line in the middle need to be on the wrinkles, etc., which you subdivide. It's important to follow the topology, to follow the feature, with the topology. So it was really specific on Rafiki. Again, I did a part of the design. It was pretty much, it was really working at the beginning. Everybody was happy about that. I didn't follow much what I had on references. I created these big wrinkles on the borders, like grandmother. And
It looks wise.
yeah, he looks wise and he has a bit more emotion, etc., like a human. I already talked to you about close eye. Woot, 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 woot. I did a test with big wrinkles, so this is just a test, and we came back on it with references, just because also you need to do the fine details and create a nice surfacing, but after you're gonna have help with Tekanim, etc., and the slide skin on top. But I did that on purpose to show you something, guys. You need to update the model at some point. I was updating the model every day. So every time you sculpt a bit, you're going to change the volumes of your main model, yeah? Your load day, as you understood. So when I change that, I need to update everybody in the studio by mail and say, okay, guys, I released a new load day. So I'm going to release Rafiki like this, and after the rigging, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to publish the model if everybody is aware and everybody knows that we're going to push the model in the department. When the model changes like this, I need to be careful about technical aspects. So I'm going to talk about something a bit more technical. At some point in ZBrush, I want to have a lot of resolution. I want to sculpt on something pretty dense, okay? So I need to cut my model at some point. Everybody in this room know Chris Costa. He's doing amazing stuff with HD mode. It's a really good way to do. And when you see the result, it's incredible. But for the flexibility at MPC, etc., we prefer cutting the model. And again, we're going to use some map from XYZ, for example, to apply the final details. So I'm going to cut the model in ZBrush, and I'm going to show you how to do that after. But when you cut the model, you're going to break the vertex order. What is the vertex order? When you take a model, you don't touch it. You can show it in Maya even. You're going to have numbers for every vertex. 42, 33.
44.
Yes. And if you try to do anything, a bevel, if you cut the model, etc., you break the vertex order.
Yeah. That's cool stuff, man.
If you break the vertex order, what you can do blend shape in your work between two models, okay? So if I take one model, I just add the light denominator, I can't blend shape the two models together. If I can't blend shape the two models, it's a problem, because I have a model coming from ZBrush, I need to update the load day, I don't have the same model, how can I do? I can do that with a link. So even if you don't really understand all those things, technical things, it doesn't matter, you just need to remember that you need one link between things. If you have the same UVs coming from this guy with multiple parts, and same UVs on this guy, you can use the transfer attribute from Maya. I did also this little picture to show you how complex are the layering on the eyes. You have a cornea, a membrane, a limbus, a lens, an iris, a meniscus. The meniscus is the little geometry to give this really wet aspect around the eyes. And you need to work on all this part. And on Rafiki, we did also this strange iris. I'm going to show you after in the video. So when I have this cut model in ZBrush, why I'm cutting this model? Because I want every part, let's say, at 45 millions of polygon, okay? It depends on you guys. Maybe if you try that tonight, your machine going to explode and your living room going to take fire, etc. But let's say 40 millions. When I have 40 millions for the head, the body, the hands, etc., I am happy. So this is cut. I'm going to take my different parts, come back at subdiv 1, export everything by OBJ, put that in Maya, I'm going to merge it, and I can't do blend shape still, because not the same vertex order. But I'm going to do a transfer attribute. Look at that. Transfer attribute in Maya, vertex position on. I'm going to move the vertex based on the UVs. I have one model cut, not the same vertex order, same UVs, pook. So this load day is going to move, and after I'm going to take this load day and apply on another final load day, and I'm going to see with the blend shape all the change. So doesn't matter if you didn't understand at 100%, remember that you are never lost. I am with you. You are never lost if you have one thing staying, okay? Like UVs. Now I'm going to show you something super cool. It's the video of Rafiki. I think you're super lucky because it's things coming directly from the dailies that you will not see in any making of, etc.
Yeah.
So this is the video for Rafiki. So you see the shape of the iris I was talking about, in where the meniscus. Here you can see the thing I was talking before with the sliding skin. So mainly James Wood and Sam Berry was working on it. Big leads from MPC for the rigging. Sometime the modeling, we're going to create ACP like this. It's our work to put that in position. We're going to give to the look dev artist. It's a temp model. Rafiki in presentation. It's all those things are work in progress. It's not the final design. And it's amazing because it was all the renders from the Pride Rock. For every animals, we did this kind of render. Meaning that sometimes for some movie, you have a gray background, etc. For every animals, we had these great rocks. Turn around for
I love this.
Yes, daily from James again. So I worked on the flex shapes for Rafiki also. When the model is done, you approve, etc., or even before. I'm going to work on every contraction of the movie. I'm going to sculpt few groups of muscle or just one muscle. Separately, you can work on that in ZBrush and do many duplication, and after you're going to sculpt all the muscle. You can see very well also here all the little high frequency from the displacement with blend shape for the eyes.
That's nice.
All the blend shape with the groom, and I just put the favorite shot from Rafiki.
Look at this. This is cool.
So this was Rafiki, guys.
How cool is that, guys? Come on. Very cool, very cool.
So now I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks. So I talked to you about like more technical aspect. Now I'm going to talk about all the sculpt little tip and trick because I know that you really like it. Anyway, this is a work in progress. I decimate the body, etc. Like this is not too heavy. And I'm going to show you two things for this guy. So this is Rafiki. Maybe you want to see a bit more. By the way, I'm going to show you the funny low topology.
Yeah.
Don't forget that this is load A. So we still have one less with the load B. So I'm going to go level 1, and I'm going to show you the topology for this guy.
Level 1.
Yeah, so this is the
It's
topology
quite
for
dense.
Rafiki. So thank you guys for something that you can't even imagine how it helps in VFX. It's dynamic subdiv. It's absolutely amazing. If you dynamic subdiv, you have way more like a sensibility. You know what's happened when you subdivide in Maya. So you have a real approach of the things. So if I use dynamic subdiv, I have a model like this. So the blend shape artist can really see the volumes, and we really can have fun with that. So this is the load A, the low poly we have in Maya. So for the people who doesn't know all this ZDisp thing, we're going to have this model in Maya, load A. We're going to release that. We're going to also release some maps on the side. Releasing the ZDisp, it comes from ZBrush. It's going to come from all the subdivision of my software. I'm going to export all the details. You're going to interpret all the subdiv 6 from subdiv 1, okay? And after, we're going to have the displacement released from the texture artist. We're going to create all the details. We're going to release the color map, the roughness map, the bump, etc. I maybe forgot. So I'm going to show you two nice tips and tricks. We're going to start by something, how to cut a model. So I'm going to cut the ear. So I really like this thing. I use absolutely every time, because I want to cut my model. I know I'm going to lose my blend shape, my vertex order, but I already showed you how to do, but I want to sculpt more in depth, and I want more polygons on just one part. I go level 1, okay? Because I want to prepare my polygroups. If I want to prepare my polygroups, I'm super happy because I already know I have some UVs. So I auto-group with UVs. I'm going to select my ear, and I'm going to do Control W. Whoop, I invert, Control W. I have my ear, I come back at 5. And I have my ear. The other part is still here, but hidden. Wait a moment. So I have my ear, and I'm going to del lower. Why? Because we can't split in ZBrush with subdivision. Yeah. and I'm going to split hidden. Okay? And now it's split in a few seconds. I'm just going to do a reconstruct subdiv. So I show you guys, you know that it's here. Reconstruct subdiv, and what's going to happen? I remember that 5 subdivision. I do it. 5. And what's happened? I have all my subdiv. I keep my details, and I don't have any borders. It's amazing.
Very simple.
So I can keep going working. I can keep going export OBJ separated. It's super cool. If you already have all the sculpt, the base sculpt, there is no way to be afraid about like moving too much between borders. And after you have other techniques to cover the borders, you can export use this, have a look in Mari, and you can play with gray maps, etc. So don't be afraid about the seams, but this is a really good technique to not have problem with the seams. So this is the first technique to split your model. And as you can understand, of course I did that because now I can divide one more time, of course. This is the purpose of the thing, and I'm gonna go a few millions more. I'm gonna show something else. So as I told you, I am not Damien Standard, but Damien non-standard. I'm gonna take the lasso for this one. And actually when you use the standard, which is an amazing brush, by the way, you still have the influence of the brush on the border of the brush. So when you're gonna sculpt in the middle, you're still gonna have the brush who's gonna create some influence on the border.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Marco,
cool.
I'm gonna show you that.
Give it to me, man. I don't know this.
So I'm gonna cut this part, this area, for example, and I want to refine a bit the wrinkles.
So why are you isolating the nose?
Because I want to do that on the nose.
Oh?
So, yeah, sorry, I was a bit rude with you.
No, it's fine. I can take it.
So I'm gonna invert that. I could do that in another way, but doesn't matter. Just a bit slow, sorry guys, it's coming. Okay, I'm gonna do that like this, with the green one. So I'm gonna isolate this part, why? Because I know that if I go there, and I use my dam standard, guys, I can just use my dam standard in an invert way, and I'm gonna have more precise line.
From inside?
Yeah, and you will not have any influence for the border of the brushes. So this is a really good way, yeah, to have wrinkles and no depth, yeah.
Nice.
Nice, nice.
Good to know.
This was the last tip. And now we're gonna jump on Baby Simba.
Is it this one?
Yeah, it's this guy.
Oh, yeah.
All the girls can do. So this is Baby Simba, Simba Cub, sorry. What you need to know is that every lion had the same topology. So this was amazing. We started to work hard on the topology, and after we used that for every lions, so we could do some blend shape between things. So this is a completely different workflow, because for the lion, we're going to create the first 3D concept with the groom, and I'm going to sculpt this guy with all the volumes. I don't need to go crazy with all the details of the groom, etc. I just need to create the volumes, and after I'm going to shave it.
Oh, you just shaved it?
Yeah. So I shave it after when it's approved, and I try to understand where there is more volume for the groom, etc. And after when it's approved, we're going to take this cat topology, and we're going to wrap on the new model, and I'm going to start to go more in depth with the.
Is it cat topology because it's a cat?
It's a lion, but it's a cat topology.
Okay.
And this is Simba in Maya. So everybody asks that every time. So how many UDIMs on the characters? You saw Rafiki, it was 15, and Simba 15 also. We don't really need a lot of UDIM with a lot of fur. We need a lot of UDIM for the nose, so you see that this UDIM is really big. So 8K just for the nose, it's super cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is dailies I did for Simba Cub. So work in progress, just for the Inomorph, nothing more to say. References, dailies, going more, because you know when we do the volume sculpt also on the animals, we don't have the Inomorph, so we need to go more in depth. And after, so this one is super cute. It was a good reference. I can have some dailies like this also. I'm going to create an ACP, put in position, and the look dev artist is going to do a render with that, and I'm going to say, oh, okay, actually the teeth are too small or too big. And I just update that. So slowly we're going to get there. And as I told you, when we have this topology done, we need to follow all the, we need to take care about all the flow of the topology. So we're going to take Sarah B, for example, another lioness, which is pretty advanced. And I'm going to take care about having the topology perfect, following all the features for the blend shape artist. So again, you understood how important is it to have a nice topology for animation. What is great is I'm going to show you something super cool in ZBrush. Let's do that in ZBrush. So for Sim Backup, I'm going to show you a tip, super nice. I think everybody knows the morph target. So I did something really, really bad for this guy. Don't judge me on that.
Oh,
Look.
oh, that's bad.
You judge me.
Oh, well, of course I do.
So this topology is not clean, and I want to update that. So I put that on a layer. What I don't want to do is smoothing this area. Why? Just because I am also updating the shape, and I destroy all my shape. But what is really cool is if I go in morph target, not the one usually people know, but the project morph target, and I delete my morph target and store my morph target. By the way, I think it's super important. Put a shortcut on your morph target, delete morph target. I'm going to show you why after. So I have a shortcut, arrows me, boop, and I store a new morph target, and I'm going to smooth this area again. So look at that. If you do that, you have a bigger smooth. You already know that. You don't touch shift anymore. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. So project morph, I'm going to come back like this. And I'm actually going to come back on the shape.
With the
So
new
this is super
topology,
cool.
that's amazing.
Can you imagine how much flexibility you have on that?
Yes.
Doesn't matter. You see that you have a topology a bit stretched or whatever. You store your morph target, and you project morph target again. You're going to project on top with a clean topology. But doesn't mean that you just need to smooth. You can also move the topology. Like few edge, too much on the right, you're going to push it, and after you're going to project. Okay? I'm going to show you something super cool again. Showing a lot of super cool stuff.
A lot of super cool stuff. Man, you're here.
From Scar. So this is Scar from the movie, the topology again. Same topology than Simba. What means that we can do a blend shape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to export this, this little guy on my desktop because I'm not serious. Look. And I'm going to come back in Simba. We have the same topology with those two guys. What I'm going to do, store morph target. I come back, I show you here. Store morph target, import, and I import Scar. And boom, we have Scar. But if I go in the morph target, I can create half Scar, half Simba. And we created a Scarimba. So this was the second tip for Simba, and I'm going to show you a video of Simba. By the way, this thing, so what we did, Scarimba, is here. It's a mix from these two guys. I use exactly the same technique for Simba adolescent. You know, the one we see for 4 seconds on the tree. I did this one. I did a blend shade between the first guy and the second guy. Same topology. And afterwards, I updated the design, etc. But it's like this. Also, we can update a lot of things. And I'm going to show you something super funny, actually. If I take Scar, and I do, again, the same process, store morph target, and I go on this guy and I export this half Scar, half Simba. I'm going to call him Lulu.
It's quite fancy.
It's a nice name. I create my morph target again. I go import Lulu. It didn't work at all because I am not on the good model. Let's do that again. Import morph target first. Import Lulu. Boom.
There we go.
And I don't need only to do that. I can also take. Don't crash. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna take my morph brush. And I'm going to create a Scarimkroof.
Obviously, you can do that as well. It's really
So
fun.
this is useful if you put two models in the same position, the face, etc. So we created a Scarimba. This is done. So because it's done, So I'm gonna talk about quickly also. I worked mainly with Stefano Carta on the blend shape for this guy, absolutely amazing, and Julia Friedle, who is an amazing girl taking care about all the technical aspect. So big kiss for this guy also. And I'm gonna show you now the video for Simba Cub. So this is when I finished the 3D concept and I put some groom, we put some groom on it just to test. It was still in position. You can see the sliding simulation from dailies from
the skin.
Yeah, with the color skin. Groom blend shape on the face. The blend shape from Stefano.
Super cool. It's like a little bit creepy, but it's fine.
Yeah. The wet version.
Oh, the
by
wet
Anan.
one.
Super cute.
Oh,
Actually,
super
I like to
cute.
see the light, how it reacts.
Very cute cat.
Yeah. So this is the standard HDRI we use at MPC for every project. And test for the pilot. Meow. I did the sound design for the movie also at some point. Meow. I like when he breathes also. Super cool. So this was Simba, guys.
Very cool, very cool, very cool.
Now I'm going to talk to you about Scar, which is the last character I work on. By the way, when I was working on Rafiki, doesn't mean that it was finished, and I don't see that. So I'm going to work a few months on Rafiki. Some rigging I'm going to play with. We already have a lot of wrinkles, etc. I'm going to have some feedbacks, for example, but I already work on Simba a few months after, and the afternoon I'm going to work a bit on Rafiki, etc. So it's not like by block. Everybody is working at the same time. Modeler going to start, texture going to arrive after, a little bit after, but we have a good organization. We can work on many characters at the same time. And by the way, I want to say a big hello also to William Bell, who did Simba Adult, an amazing model. It's like this, that we did this kind of blend shape. What was really cool on Simba also, I want to insist on this thing, it's a big team effort again, like modeling, for example. A lot of people can, for example, just sculpt the little groom on the tongue, or you can have some feedback from the groom because you're going to have some areas where the groom is too dark, etc. So it's a big team effort for the modeling. But what was really cool on Lion King, and this is rare in VFX, and that's why, again, don't be too attached to your model when you work on VFX because you need to share a lot, and it's a big team effort. But we had the opportunity to work pretty long on our character. And we were character artists on this thing. So sometime a guy was just doing the 3D concept. So the thing I showed you before, so the groom sculpt. And after the skin model, we call that the production model. So for this guy, I had the chance to do from the beginning to the end. But for example, like Pumbaa, William Bell also did the base mesh. And Curtis Dave, for example, did only the surfacing and the sculpt. Niels, for example, worked from the beginning to the end on Timon and Zazu. And etc., etc. So a big hello for all the modeling team. We were not a lot of people, but we could stay on our character and really learn about that. Because of course, we are still learning, and everybody was learning every day from different parts of the animals. There is some incredible stuff. So now I'm going to talk about Scar. It was a bit specific. We already worked a bit on some lion bodies, and at some point we were a bit stuck for the design of the face. So Benjamin came to me and said, can you give a try to find a design for the face? And I did this first 3D concept for the face.
That's pretty
And
evil.
like in few days, we say, OK, let's go for that. This guy is a bit more bulky after we shaved a lot when we did the skin version. But this was actually the last version for Scar. I did this daily, pretty slow, to really see the guy. And we started from that. So as you can see, it's also interesting to see that we're going to still keep going to work on it. We're going to put some groom in, and the design going to evolve. But at some point, we just want something that we like to keep going. And after, again, I'm going to shave it. So I shave it. For this guy, you can see this strange low frequency on the body. But it actually looks cool with the groom. It creates some variation, etc. And actually, after, I'm going to go even more dirty, and I'm going to create this path of little veins. I'm going to show you, Marco, this nice little
please.
veins. You see that?
Oh, those ones.
Yeah, those little things.
You did that.
So this is cool because I wanted to show that because you need to use a technique with the morph target again, and you know that you can also export with morph target the Z displacement is ZBrush. So you can say the thing I sculpt on this layer need to be isolated. So we're gonna have in texturing with a nuke tip and trick. We're gonna just receive the veins only with a gray 0.5 gray maps. And after the look dev artist, the texture artist can play with that and balance everything. It's super useful to work like this. So this is just an example of the work in progress of the sculpt of the mouth I did for Scar. It's a really interesting part, having a lot of fun. And after we honestly need to, so this is a part a bit more, you need to go more in depth. So you have the concept sculpt, you have seen even the hairs was a bit stretched, etc. Doesn't matter. But after for the skin model, it needs to be super clean, and we do this pass of wrapping the topology, adjusting all the topology with the good flow, etc. So this is a daily to show one of the last face of Scar for the movie in Maya. And we can see all the volumes. We can have exactly the same camera already released by the modelers, and we can have the same daily with the groom. You're gonna have the same daily next to each other, or we're gonna have this tool. We can put the same daily one by one and do back and forth, and we're gonna see exactly where the volume of the groom here and the modeling is. So we're gonna adjust everything, and like by millimeters, honestly, for this thing. So I'm gonna show you the last video for Scar, and after I'm gonna let Marco, the rock star, talking.
Oh, because it's a rock. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's rock. And this is the last video for Scar, guys. With a really cool skin sliding on this guy. And you're gonna see the renders for the rock presentation also. Yeah. You see all the veins I was talking to you about?
I still struggle to think they are not real sometimes.
Scar on the rock presentation. And a cool shot for Scar. Thank you so much, guys.
So, while you're switching it up, you want to take maybe a couple questions?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, let's
Sure.
take advantage of
couple
each
of
other. Holy
questions.
smoke, front row.
We have
Boom.
time.
Let's hear it.
we do, man.
Go for it.
Yeah. I went pretty quick. Thank you so much, mate.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, so that topology, that was all handmade topology, right? Vert by vert, you know,
Yeah.
popping it in. You didn't use any Q mesher or anything
No,
to help give you a base.
No, but at some point we need to start with this concept sculpt at the beginning that I show you, and it doesn't really matter if it comes from a ZBrush at the beginning. I want to show the volumes, and we need to do the thing by step. And if I need to do like another ZBrush on top and reproject to update that, there is no problem. But after the topology, going to be like a really serious thing for VFX, and we're going to do that by hand.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
You can manually manipulate it after. I mean, it's just a really good first step to clean it up at a lower level.
It's a really good step, and by the
I
way,
wouldn't
guys,
do that
yeah,
manually, like-
yeah, I can go a bit more in depth in that if we don't talk about production or even honestly at MPC I use this technique also. I talk about the really good keeping group from the last ZBrush. It's absolutely amazing, guys. Even some problems. Sometimes you do ZBrush, but you don't have the loops around the eyes. Doesn't matter. Create 20,000 groups around your eyes. You create some cut for the arms, cut in the middle of the belly. And you create ZBrush keeping groups. It's just gonna keep in groups. So you create a group here, you're gonna have a nice topology. And honestly, even in VFX, I use that a lot. I do this process, and I'm gonna check my model, and I'm gonna say, I don't like this topology here. And I just remove it, okay? And I remove few parts, I bring that in Maya, I'm gonna use the Quadro or something else, and I'm gonna just replace the holes, and you are done in a few hours.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Exactly.
the point, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's still some input. Wow, way in the back. I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah.
Day 3.
Cool catch.
Just for the record, I had a poster of Nolan Ryan in my room when I was growing up as a kid.
I was wondering if you could show that thing again from Friday with the bumps on the back on Scar.
Oh, thank you so much, mate.
Oh, wow, yeah, you forgot.
I forgot the tip
wow,
and tricks
wow, wow.
for
Get-
Scar.
Round of applause
Wow,
for that
thank
guy
you,
right there.
Thank you.
Good job, man. Good memory. That's what you get for the repeat,
Honestly,
Paul.
thank you so much for that. Okay, let's go for tip and trick
Right in
and
the
Scar.
bread
I
basket.
didn't understand. I still had 10 minutes. Okay, we're gonna do something cool.
At this point, we're in charge. You can just do whatever you want, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, let's go for 3 hours. Thank you, Luis.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna show something that I really like. It's a little thing that I don't see every time. maybe you know that there is this nice modifier in ZBrush stroke. You have the replay last. A lot of people know this one, but the replay last, this one, me, what I like to do is put a shortcut on it. So everybody knows Control, Alt, you click and you put your shortcut. And I put G, because G in Maya is repeating the last action.
Sure.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create some spine. For example, I want to create some spine. So, yeah. So if I want to create some spine, I can create the first form, and I keep my my pen on my tablet, and I'm gonna create this form, and I'm gonna press G, and I'm gonna recreate this form.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that.
I wanna know.
Everybody knows that, man. Look at these people. They just know what they do.
So this is a simple thing, but it can be nice. You can use that for repetitive.
It looks less evil now.
Yeah, let's release it. And I think I'm done with all the tips I'm going to ask you, because apparently you know more the presentation than me. Did I have another tip for Scar?
I think he's good.
I think it was the blend shape with Simba.
Yeah, we did that.
You did that one.
I have a doubt. Oh, I'm going to show you something that I regret I didn't show you, because sometimes some people say, yeah, but I want to know how you sculpt animals, guys. So, for example, so something really simple. First thing, and you know that it's super funny online every time the people pop in and say, what is the brush? Of course, again, I'm going to say the same thing. Doesn't matter. You can use the standard brush, the clay build-up, and it's fine. You can do some incredible stuff. And I think all the artists you see here for the summit show you that. So what I like, me personally, is be careful for the muscle realistic aspect for the dam standard. Take something a bit different, but don't pinch like this. What I'm going to show you is like just clay build-up. What I used to do is going on alpha 6, okay? And I can create some, I still have some textures on my brush. And look, my muscle looks pretty realistic. So I have just have a clay build-up, so I still have some textures, but I have another alpha. And what I really like to do also, I'm going to go level 4. People who didn't see the video before are going to think that Scar is like this in the movie. If you want to stay with the normal alpha, where is the square? Here. You can still go. Don't forget that it's super important. Sometimes I see like people with big library of brushes and alphas, and like after 10 days they forget that they have all these alphas.
Yeah,
so you download like 10 gigabytes of alphas. If you take this guy and you just go around 0 for the focal shift, you can have a really nice result and texture for your muscles. Yeah? And anybody being a bit shy, etc., again, shortcut, morph target, I create a crazy muscle. Yeah? I smooth. A really strong dam standard. I take my morph target, it's also a shortcut for me. And slowly, I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to calm down this muscle.
Ooh,
So you don't need to be shy anymore.
Yes, very good. Yes. Question. Anybody, while they change over? Any more questions while they change over? No? Okay, cool.
A little bonus.
Bonus, even more.
For you didn't see from yesterday, and this is again a big thanks for Pixologic for this update. Amazing. I use that every day at MPC. I have this eye. By the way, super important thing. If I don't, it's pretty annoying sometimes. You don't need to export all your emoji from Maya and put in ZBrush by layer. The cornea, the limbus, you just need to pack it. I have different UVs on different UDIM. I mean, at least no overlap. And I have my full eye that I'm going to call eye guide. I always call that like this. And I have all my mesh like this. I'm going to take my Scar here, and I'm going to use this amazing new gizmo. I'm going to press Alt and here. And for Scar, I'm going to create a little lasso. Little area where I'm going to create this thing. I'm going to show the eye. It's like the Deadpool version. Exactly. I'm gonna press Alt and click on my model so my gizmo is here. Alt and here, and I have something in the middle. I'm gonna invert my mask. And when I press this little logo, I can move different things at the same time. And this, for VFX process, is absolutely a gift. So I can put the eyes bigger, and I can move that smaller. and
Ooh,
etc.
this is cool. This is a cool trick.
And even more cooler than that, and I think people understood, my eyes are still merged, and they moved, etc. I take it back, I save that an OBJ, I put in Maya, and I don't have the same vertex order, so I can't do blend shape. And I use the transfer attribute, I take my group, and cornea, transfer attribute, etc. And all my different parts gonna move one by one, and you're gonna change the shape of the eyes. So this is super cool also.
Yeah, like Paul and Joseph say, you just got to turn the pizza boxes on the side there, and the other tools will move with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember this,
Yeah.
this update.
Yeah.
And after you can do that,
Never a bad time for pizza.
and we're gonna do a shark, the
It's
shark
like
king.
A hammerhead.
when Waterworld meets the Lion King.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
I'm done.
Vivano.
Damien
Thank you,
Guimeno,
Damien.
everybody.
Thank you, Damien.
How's it going? Hi, guys. As I said before, my name is Marco Capellazzi.
Hello, Marco.
Buonasera, signori, a tutti quanti. Mamma
Buitoni
mia.
ravioli.
And this is Her Majesty the Pride Rock that I've been really, really fortunate to sculpt and design. So there's no music in this, so we're gonna like say no, 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 no. So as you can see, this is a very huge asset and it's part of the environment. So let me just check this now sometimes. Look at this, I really love it. The storytelling of this is pretty obvious. But I have a question. Why we sculpt a rock by hand if we can use procedural tools? There's a lot of really cool software that can do nice grainish and full noise for a rock. But so why we don't use it and why we sculpted this by hand? Look at this.
Yeah,
this
why?
is all by hand. Why we did that?
Why you did that?
It's actually a cool question. It's just about, oh, this is a cool flyover, by the way.
Grey rounders.
This is not going to be happening anywhere. I don't think you're going to see this in the movie and in the making of at all. So this is all for free, guys. All for free.
Thank you, Marco.
Scatter pass, as you can see, everything has been sculpted by hand by all the facilities that MPC has around the world. It's a little bit noisy, but I mean, it's huge. This takes huge amount of time to get rendered, guys. And as I said more than once, everything has been sculpted by hand because since the beginning, let me just stop this. Since the beginning, we knew that, oh, that's cool. Anyway, let's get into this. This is actually a decimated version for the final Pride Rock. And it's composed by 132 subtools. And it's not even the final version. Because, fun fact, I made once because I wanted to push the limits and the boundaries of this incredible software. A merge, a Z tool, with all the final pieces that compose the entire Pride Rock, and it came out with a Z tool composed by 2 billion polygons and some millions.
Wow.
Can you? I mean, I didn't know we can come out with something like that. I think it pushed the boundaries for this. Crazy. So. Yeah, we had to sculpt it by hand because since the beginning with John Farrow and all the clients, we have to find a solution from the beginning because they wanted to have a documentaristic kind of look and a vibe for the entire environment because of the cameras that they choose to use simulating a documentary. And those are actually quite crazy because all the lenses that we got were incredibly long and incredibly wide, insanely close to the geometry. So we had to come up with the idea to solve this problem of the design of the Pride Rock before was as an artistic problem, then as a technical problem. So that was really cool because when we received all the concepts, from LA, we immediately decided to compare everything, also with the references that all those guys get down in Kenya, because we had an expedition, not me, unfortunately, but a lot of cool guys that went there for ages and took many pictures for references. Every rock, every way they get eroded, everything was pretty on the spot. So we immediately come out with a problem to solve. First of all, the concepts were very sharp. So you have to come out with some design which is very sharp. But every rock in Kenya is very shaved and weathered and really smooth. So they have been, like they said at some point, you have to do a sharp, smooth rock. Right. So for that reason, I had to come up with some ideas. And this is pretty much the result of more than 20 sketches that has been done. And every sketches that I made, it was pretty much based on references, obviously, and concepts. But not all of them were good for all the cameras that we had. So we immediately understood that this model has to be thought using the cameras as a ruler, because that was the most important thing to respect. So after creating a Frankenstein version of all those sketches, this is pretty much the design that we come out with. And after this, when you have overall sketch that you want to use and proceed, creating all the assets that compose then the final result, you're gonna have to decide how to split it. And obviously how to split it is also based on cameras. So as you can see, not just because I can show you all the 132 subtools, but I can point you out how many pieces are composing.
You have seen that Mako doesn't use the folders?
Yeah, I mean, okay, this is a mistake because we've been using the folders a lot and it's been a huge improvement. Can you imagine all these pebbles around there, but they have to be there because car walks on it? That lion. Yeah. And yeah, that's great. It's a cool feature. A round of applause for those features, guys. So once we decided how to split it, for example, this is a huge chunk of rock that we wanted to sculpt on itself because it's almost like it's positioned like this with the mouth open and the tongue. I don't know why. It looks like it's thinking. But this is actually the way you split it by cameras and by shots, or I say key shots, not the software. But so, as I said, solving the problem artistically for the cameras. So the procedural way is not enough. It's not enough at all. And I want to show you some cool things that I've been majoring during the 2 years that I've been sculpting this. I've not just sculpted this in 2 years. I did a lot for environments. But you know, sometimes you have to have an idea or at least a plan how to do this thing. So I'm going to just show you using a sphere, a normal sphere that we all love when we start from a sphere. And I dynamesh it. Now, that's pretty cool. Maybe I can make it a little bit longer. I don't remember the shortcuts because I have another interface. So let's say this could be a chunk of a rock that we just cut it out from the major shape. What I do is use a brush to prepare the mesh, to simplify and decide the direction of all the details. And I use a pretty much unknown ZBrush brush, which is inside brush. Did I say brush?
Yeah.
And is inside the trim folder. Yeah, I love the trim folder. And it's the last one, which is called the trim smooth border.
It's a secret.
That's a secret. Nobody knows that, man. Nobody.
It's a secret.
When you just use a square alpha like this and you go crazy with the focal shift in negative, like crazy one, you can see it's doing a pretty much the same job that all the other trims does, but without even too much thinking about that. I know that I've been preparing the stepping for this rock. I mean, with few strokes is already quite believable, I think. You can work on this, man. You can just really much work on it. It creates so much good steps. But the best thing of this brush is that it's based on normals. So when you let's say, capture the direction of a plane, let's say this, I can take it away wherever I want.
Wow.
So this is going everywhere at the same angle, and this is cool for some steppings. This is a little bit too crazy, but you get the idea of this. I mean, I can simplify it already again. It starts to be kind of like believable already, I think. I mean, I think yes, because this is the way that I've been doing it. So it's
yeah.
obviously I think it's a
Not a
cool
question,
one.
it's
not a question. I say that. And if you see it, it's good for creating some steppings. I had a lot of fun with this, and you can create, obviously, a lot of really sharp features on top of something that resembles a roundish kind of rock. But not only this, I mean, this is just to prepare your mesh. Once you prepare your mesh and you're kind of happy, let's say this is steps, these are 3 steps, one is maybe too narrow, or let's go a little bit crazy like this. Dynamesh all the time, obviously, it's helping a lot, but this is also nice and believable already. I just don't want to think about that so much, because also MPC, we're collecting resources since the beginning, and there was a folder where I found several of the brushes that I've been using. Not so many, it's just because I wanted to keep the same look for all the rock, but eroding the rock in a different way regarding the level of it. But I also wanted to create the details for one kind of rock, which is in this case granite. We don't want to have like sandstone features in the granite. You don't do them, man. It's going to be a really bad idea. So why we don't just try with them? Of course we can try. I mean, I've been taking here just a couple of 3 of them. So we have 2 cracks, huge improvement, and a surface rock noise. This is obviously really easy to use. And as you can see, really much works on the surface. I can blend it away, but it looks cool from here. It doesn't really look cool from here, obviously. No. And we have cameras that goes like this. Really like this. I mean, in one daily, I could count 4 polygons. It was like this. And in this case, I mean, the Dynamesh is still helping a lot. You can create some features like this, because why? Because you want to create happy accident. So you want to help it. You just want to come up with something to be followed by your workflow. And using the Trim Smooth Border brush, you keep the same angle for all the features that you do. But when you're happy, you go a little bit crazier with the Dynamesh, a resolution, so you can keep going. Obviously, this is going to be better now. As you can see, this is already more sharpy, and we can do that again. Boop. And do that again. Dynamesh, still going. You can go that all lifelong, guys.
I want to do some rocks now.
Man, I think it's really relaxing. I've been listening for so much music using this technique. It's just relaxing.
It's relaxing, yeah.
But you don't have to forget something. Here it comes the painful part for this. Well, let's also show how the crack works, because, I mean, at some point you will have like this big, enormous crack you can rotate. I mean, this is a little bit too much. But let's say I want this like this, and I want this even more. Nothing to be worried about. I can, I did the wrong one. I can still fix this by maybe improving the resolution a little bit more. And I will keep going in this way. It's going to be very, very, very sharp in this feature here, because maybe we don't have to do exactly what I did right here everywhere. We just need to have a really, really crispy detail right here. But if you don't prepare your mesh and you don't care about the direction of the erosion that you find in nature, look what happened when we use a really cool brush like that in a smooth area. I mean, it looks cool from very far, obviously, but you have like a, I don't know, ice cream kind of feature. Rocks doesn't work like that. They don't work like that, guys. So I think this is a pretty cool brush, and nobody knows about that. It's been in ZBrush since the beginning, and this is the way I've been sculpting a lot of the feature for the Pride rock itself. I think it's pretty cool.
Oh, you're showing the back.
Oh yeah, it's true. I showed the back as well.
Yeah, he did.
Like you did. Oh, I'm a little bit naughty. Okay. Naughty is really
Can you
British
stop
accent.
stealing my jokes, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. Make it copyright. Okay, so where we want to go right now? As you said before, we have to release this. We have to prepare the mesh topology using the ZBrush because it's just top-notch. ZBrush does a great job. Obviously, you don't have to respect a lot of topology for rocks. It doesn't have teeth or eyes or nothing, thankfully. And the ZBrush just does a great job. You just prepare your mesh, you take care of your regimes, and sometimes, there's another fun fact, I saw somebody were just going ballistic with more than 90 UDIM for a piece of rock.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's MPC, they have resources, so it's really cool, really, really cool. They can render everything. When you do that, you just release it, and you just render it out. Maybe you're gonna be looking at this rock that you rendered, and you sculpted that from a very, very close distance, as I said before. So for example, the top of the Pride rock, this is also decimated now, so it's not so nice and crisp to see, but this piece has several portions. So this, I splitted this even more, so this is not just the super final one. This very tip one piece, it becomes like 12 pieces. And I split that geometry exactly in the way he showed it before. So we will reconstruct subdivisions because I steal this trick from you, to be honest. And that works just perfectly. But we get insanely close. So we have to reach amount of polygons to sculpt that goes beyond, that goes really beyond. And I strangely come up with a limit that ZBrush has that not a lot of people knows. I'm sorry to say that, but I just have to help you also to improve this. When you cut a piece and you go really, really ballistic, you go for topologies like over 50 million polygons for just one subtool. So that's why it goes 2 billion. And unfortunately, if you go beyond 50 million polygons, it doesn't keep UVs. I don't know why. I think it's related to the interpolation of the subdivisions. And it's just saving, and maybe it's going to crash.
We can ask after with some Pixologic guys. Yeah,
yeah, I think they know about this. So I have to come up with a rule. I mean, I have to go really, really crazy with the detailing. So, but I know that I cannot go beyond 50 million polygons. So I said, okay, let's create a rule. And I created a 780 polygon rule. Everybody in the department was following this because they knew they could use this rule to avoid the limit and go, even if they didn't need to, they could go at the limit. So every time that I retopo a piece of geometry, I make sure that the very low poly is 780 polygons, because if I want to subdivide it, and I do, 9 times, I reach the limit, and I can still keep in the UVs. So that's why you have lots of subtools that are 50 million polygons each. That I think is crazy. It's just crazy. And MPC has a lot of tools to take care of all this information, because when you release it, you can still move the things in render time and in Maya. So when the sculpt was very successful, you gotta come up with a little bit overscan, so you can shift a little bit and create a second design even in render time. And I think that was really, really, really cool to do. And I hope we're gonna break this boundary of the 50 million. Actually, I think it's 52 dot something, if I'm not really mistaken. But anyway, that's just a fun fact.
I have a question for you, Marco.
Yeah.
Can I?
Sure.
Is it always the same size, the rock, for the different?
Oh yeah, that's a cool question. So you mean the Pride Rock itself?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so no, it's not always the same size. So all the people that have seen the movie, raise your hands who've seen the movie. Or maybe, that's really cool.
Wow.
Cool stuff. No, it's actually changing. It's actually really, really changing because when you have lions in the nursery, which is this place here.
The cave, yeah.
The really nice cave where all
Where
the
Scar
lions
tried to eat
live.
Zazu.
Yeah, exactly. Where Scars tried to eat Zazu as well. You have to stay with the size of the rock that it's like in line with the size of the lions. But for very huge cameras or really far away cameras, for example, the land which is in front of the Pride Rock, which is actually this, it's so huge that if you frame with a camera the Pride Rock from really, really far beyond, it's very tiny. It's ridiculous. So you just want to scale it up. And you just do that not in ZBrush. You just do that because you released all the models that compose the Pride Rock, and you do that in post with the MPC tools. AimM, in this case for environment department. They will love it. So it's always constantly changing. It's like getting fatter, getting thinner, getting taller, getting really smooth. I just seen so many different versions of the Pride Rock itself. So when we are ready to go for this, we release, obviously, as I explained before, in the pipeline. And what we did also was to get the VR set and go on the Pride Rock. So it's incredible. I was standing where Rafiki is just showing Simba to all the other animals. I was like, oh, that's pretty huge, that's pretty high. And I was looking back for this portion here, and it's massive. It's been massive. So that's why also the supervisor were helping me, saying like, oh, I mean, this is huge. It's too big. So we just decrease it a little bit. But no, this is now too tiny. So we have to come up with solutions. And the VR was a really important process here. So like in conclusion, I just have to say that ZBrush has been one of the key tools for all the pipeline in MPC for creating this massive project that have been going on for 2 years. And it's been a game changer for the entire project, and I'm really thankful for what you've done, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marco. Thank you, guys.
Are you crying?
Wait.
Yeah.
Way better.
A round of applause also for these beautiful people here, guys. They have been.
Thank you, guys, for the reaction. Jamie, Paul, Joseph, everybody, Luis.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Amazing.
Can we take some questions?
Of course we can.
I hope you do.
Yes, we can.
Feels like forever. Hey.
Everybody's quite tired now, so I really appreciate
Who's tired?
your...
Who's tired? Wait a minute.
You're
man.
tired?
Hey,
Yeah.
whoa, don't
Are
start
you
spreading
tired?
rumors.
I am not
Is
tired.
anybody in the house still excited about this stuff? Who's tired? Who are we talking about, man? When you're rolling with the big dog, it's forever a clock, pal. Yeah. What's the question?
Hey there. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So the character designs are not like the animation that we saw when we were kids, and they look really cool. They're like 90% very realistic, maybe 10% humanistic.
Yeah, I think it's
And you said the director, Jon Favreau, came in and talked to you about that and why you guys are doing that. What did he have to say about that style choice?
We really wanted to keep the original mood of the movie, but also we needed to do like something like a documentary. So all the references was coming from Kenya, by the way, by guys going. Not everybody was coming back, by the way, like eating by lions on the way. But we had a lot of references from Kenya, and we tried to keep something pretty realistic, but keep like a bit of stylization, of course. Marco Ah, you didn't see that? You forgot some picture.
I don't forget anything, man.
Look.
Yeah, come on.
Everything in its time. There's a
about
question.
You forgot some pictures.
There's
Yeah, no,
a
don't
question
forget
way in the back. We're going to see. Go ahead and throw it at the fellas.
They're gonna come out.
Hey, Marco. This is Mike again. Awesome presentation.
Yeah.
I just had a question from one environmental artist to another.
Oh yeah, sure.
When you're working on a scene of this scale and magnitude, I would
sorry,
imagine getting notes is kind of tricky. So I'm curious how you, just keep track of the notes that you're getting on an asset that has so many components.
Yes.
And like, how do you keep track of the notes and just make sure that you've applied them?
I see. Okay, I'm glad you asked me because I've got pictures that can show you.
You were keeping it.
Very, very briefly how we did that. So
Yes.
think about this. Well, we sculpt or design in this case, but is both of the thing. The major pieces that compose the entire scene that has been decided also in previews, making concept really rough ones, and you pretty much know what is going to compose your scene. So you have a ground, because otherwise it's pretty difficult. And you do have major objects, which are, in this case, this big canyon, this other one, and the little ones that compose the features of the disappearing canyons in this scene. Then you add a pass of scatter. In this case, we use Houdini, and a huge thanks to all those guys that developed the scatter tool for Houdini, and we also created all the rocks as well. All by hand is crazy. And you just do a pass of scatter. And that is going to be creating a lot of believability. Is it the word? Okay.
You can say that.
Then also you use the scatter with the plants. And everything looks already pretty much believable. But you can even more and creating scatter on scatter. So the overall feedbacks are concerning all of those passes. And to answer your question, you have to give and to receive feedbacks on scales, on layers. So major things done, I like them. Then secondary things, I like that. Set dressing of the scatter of the plants. Less bushes here, more bushes there. It's very simple to do and it's very quick, but it is one of the most major important things. You just don't want to have a lot of plants right there. Obviously, is a pretty much good example, but you have feedbacks following the layers of the importancy. Hope I did answer.
Put your hands together for that. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's the guy.
First of all, yeah, I see him. It's like, that's the really incredible thing about the ZBrush Summit. That's like one professional asking another professional for.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's like really, only here could that possibly happen. I dropped the cube on that one. Here you go.
Well, you were good.
Amazing work, guys.
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank you, mate. Thanks a lot.
I was wondering, guys, how if you drink more coffee?
Oh,
I actually have the answer. Chris Uyede, without hesitation. You need a lot of coffee. To be honest, we said a lot of good things about Pixologic, about MPC, about Disney. Maybe we can be a bit bad guys. Now, the coffee is not so great at MPC.
Oh, no.
Sometimes you see some guys with like big machines doing their own coffee. But the answer is Chris Uyede, HOD modeling.
He's Italian. It's not espresso.
No. You don't want to drink that. I can't remember.
That's a losing battle from the get-go, man. Are you kidding? Guys from... Come on.
He knows that.
Come on.
I really appreciate
Gotta wake up
it.
early in the morning. Anybody else? Now's the chance to ask.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Thanks. This was awesome. Watched it
Thank
twice.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
So when you're sculpting the rock, do you get? And you mentioned you use the camera and like you have some information about the shot. Do you get lighting information with that, and do you concern yourself with that when you're sculpting it?
Not at all. Sometimes it can happen, obviously, because maybe you just want to know if the light is going to be hitting your hero piece of environment if you are inside a cave. So it's going to be lighted a lot, like from above, and so you have to spend and give a little bit of love on the surface of it. But normally the lighting is just something that the modelers in environment doesn't really care about because everything has to be top-notch everywhere. So we had a lot, by the way, of hints by animation because if the animators did a previous pass of the keyframes of the animation of the lion, for example, and they did that in a very exactly like this. Oh, you were lucky. That was nice, man. That was really on the spot. So they do that in a flat, surface. You don't have to sculpt that in this way because otherwise it's not going to be matching with animations. So we create something which is called anim surface, and is a previous rough sculpt of the rocks, so the animators knows how it's gonna be, so you can still like refining the details because you have already done the lower frequency, but lighting not at all in this case.
Cool. Thanks.
Cool. Throw it on over.
Oh no, missed the catch.
I lost it in the light, man. I lost it in the light. Hey, you know what? Once in the summit, it's all right by me. That's the first one.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
It's just the ending.
It went right in there, and I was just like, anyway. Okay. I did. It's over my head. It was a home run. Happens. Pitcher's fault. Don't blame the center fielder when it goes over the green monster. All right, getting her done. Anybody else? World Series coming up. Oh, here we go. Fall Classic. Oh, look at that. Hey, come on.
That's
redeeming
good.
quality. It's a redeeming quality of a champion. That's what you do, man. You forget about it. You just move forward. Hold on a second, man. I sure could throw a ball when I was a kid. Go ahead.
Hey, Damien.
Hello, mate.
When you were doing the lions, I noticed you did like a shaving, you said?
Yeah.
What exactly was like the purpose of that? Instead of just doing the
We have an automatic tool. It's interesting, by the way, because sorry, I can't answer to this. Yeah, it's cool because I can join the two questions, actually. He was talking about the light. We have an automatic tool, it's asset checker, so we're going to release the model, and automatically you can launch something, and you're going to create some turnaround with HDRI, etc., so you're already going to have some lighting. For your question, it's the same thing, asset checker. You can show the checker for the UVs, and you can show the different UDIMs. So what you saw with the different color was just the different UDIMs. So the part of the UVs on different areas. It was just that. And by the way, when we want to render this thing with automatic tools like Asset Checker, at MPC we are rendering with Katana and RenderMan, to be more precise.
Katana and RenderMan, you said?
RenderMan, yeah.
Yeah, Katana and RenderMan.
And Katana for the generation of big scene.
Anybody else? Guys, take advantage. This is a really rare opportunity. We have two really talented folks up here. All right, take it. Oh, right in the bread
Good
basket.
catch again.
Come on, man.
We forgot something.
No, I was just curious what you're using for the groom. Is it just Maya and XGen?
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
we are using, you have good question. We are using a bit of XGen, and we have a proprietary, I don't know this word.
This is a French fatality. I don't know how to come up with that.
La baguette. We have a special.
La baguette.
We have a special software coming from MPC that we call Fertility. You can read a lot of stuff about this thing on Technicolor website.
Yeah, there's everything you need to know. Actually, it's really cool.
There is really cool Lion King.
It's proprietary of MPC. Actually,
yeah, exactly.
That's a nice proprietary win right there for you guys. Working out. Go for it in the back here, deep in the crowd of people.
I wonder, like, you are so dedicated to the details, as we can see, but would you lose some like reality at some point if you like too focus on details?
He may become delirious, and that's where that espresso might come in. Yeah.
You were talking about the wrinkle on Rafiki specifically.
Specifically, what part do you mean? Just in general, or?
Like on the rocks.
Like on the rocks. It's very, very detailed.
I had wrinkles, okay.
Sorry.
Well, this time it's...
Yeah.
So you asked me if just focusing too much on details it's less good. I didn't really get the idea of the question. Sorry.
You will like if you have like too much details on something, you will feel it like way too fake. rather than realistic.
Oh,
It's like,
well, yeah. If
Where does it cross
you're
the
not
boundary?
good in sculpting, yes, of course it looks fake. And
Sorry.
well, you have to, before getting crazy with it, it's actually a cool question because before getting crazy with the details, you have to feel it. It's every time that I have to explain to basically maybe a new guy that was coming in, and I was helping the
You call him new guy when he comes in? You can say, hey, new guy.
Hey, new guy.
yeah, you know you know you can stick it. So every
guy,
time
over
they tried to use all the brushes that creates cool details too soon. So I say all the time, try to feel your rock. I mean, I know it's silly, but it's just a cool thing. But try to feel your rock like you're actually carving it with a chisel. So it's creating a relationship with the type of rock, with the direction of the details. Then you have to dose your details, low, medium, and high frequency. They are really important to respect. So if you respect these things and you just know how to look also the happy accident of what you're doing, you can come out with something cool.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yeah. Is that you? Boom. Could have played state. Just kidding.
So,
played hockey.
This may be a silly question, but I always felt that environments were a character of their own.
Thank you for saying this.
Yeah. So, how do you go about sort of composing the scene and trying to get the most character out of something like that?
Okay, so the scene, it's like in this case, this is a very deserty, dry, dead version of the same scene. I mean, this is the same asset and the same environment. Everything is exactly the same than this. But obviously the scatter has been re-prepared. So to compose the scene, first of all, you have to have a camera. That's one of the most important things. You know what is going to be the most important thing. That's why the Pride Rock has been treated almost like a character, because you wanted to have a hero presentation for that asset itself. Then the more you go in the secondary portion of your scene, the more you spend less on those. Maybe this behind it's as a good example, is less prominent, less prepared, less detailed, because you know at some point you want to spend everything on something you want to see the most. So pretty much this is the way. You compose the scene by focusing on the most important thing because you have the camera. And that helps a lot. If you want to do a good environment, do just a very few simple geometries like primitives, blocking stuff, and have a really good time spend the time to create a good framing. That is just going to be half of your job.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Don't walk out of here without asking that question. You'll regret it later. Okay, take advantage now. Going once. Oh, very good. You see? As soon as I say regret, arms come up. Louder.
Thank you.
Thank you, Billy.
I was wondering how you guys got the skin sliding to work. Was that on the rigging side, or did you?
I want you to answer this now.
It's actually coming from the rigging and skin simulation. So it's going to be rigging and also tech anim department, which is going to work on that. And we're going to give some structure. So we're going to have two specialties in rigging. We're going to have the rigging bond more from the side from James Wood, and the other part of the rigging from Sam Berry. And we're going to do also at the same time the blend shape and the flake shapes. So for the blend shape, we're going to do this kind of thing you saw in the dailies for the face, and we'll be doing each part really separate to create some to create the animation of the face. And sometimes you have a facial rig. After for the body, we're going to create some flake shapes. And we will use also the volumes we have inside, like for example, the low poly skeleton, and we're going to use the skeleton to slide on it. So it's a combination. What you saw when he's walking, I think it's what you were talking about. It's a combination of flex shapes and skin sliding.
Demian standard answer.
Thank you, guys.
Hands together. That's a cue.